Hey friends, it's Michael here. I just wanted to get on this video and share with you a couple of insights based on some of the emails I've been getting. Now, many of you are not in a similar type of work to me of spiritual clearing and karma clearing and all of that, so you don't get to hear from people all throughout the world, as I do regularly, who are often asking many of the same questions, often talking about many of the same questions. So some of the questions I get really frequently are people asking about money challenges that they're having. And many people, when I ask in my contact form, what's the major concern that you're having in life right now? Many people state that money is the major concern. And there was a really interesting book that I looked at some time ago that had a phrase in it. It said that money is actually never the actual cause. Money itself is not the actual cause of money issues. I want you to sort of take that in for a second. It really struck me when I first heard this spoken, that people see a lack in finances in life and they think, okay, I have money problems, let me try to do some healing around money problems. But what I would say is that money problems as such are really representational or are emblematic of other things that are going on within our lives, within our life circumstances, or within our consciousness. And I'd just like you to take that in for a second, because this is the kind of answer I want to give to most people. I just prefer to do it in video oftentimes. I want people to understand, because I think when you watch a video like this, it starts to dawn on you a couple of things. One is that what I'm saying probably resonates with you at some level. And secondly, it starts to empower you and it starts to give you more authority. You might think, first and foremost, that what do I do about these money issues? The economy, and I don't have the right training, and I don't have the right education, or people aren't hired, or whatever, all of the externals around money that we often talk about. When you realize a couple of things, that money is an outcome, it's a result of an internal state of consciousness, but it's also a result of your internal state of awareness of who you are, awareness of your connection to an infinitely loving universe, your perception of the universe. Is it loving? Is it withholding? Is it bad, or is it loving? Your sense of that is going to affect your money. But also your sense of your unique gifts. Are you in touch with who you are? Are you in touch with what is unique to you beyond the level of your current job description, or with a certain college degree or whatever you might have, or certain training? There's something beyond all of that that's unique only to you. And it may be hard sometimes to quantify or to name it, but there's something that's really unique to you. If you haven't taken the soul-searching time, done the visioning work, done the guided meditation work even, to be able to really reveal that and bring that to the surface, it's going to be very difficult. You're going to be sort of walking through your life a little bit blind or a little bit unaware. You're just sort of going from job to job, or you're trying to make money. You're wondering, why does that person make more money? Why does that person make less? But we're living in an age right now where everything is really possible. People who have come from nothing can often make a tremendous amount. The internet has really opened everything up in our world. So just because you're from a certain culture or a certain country or a certain demographic means that you can find your way to express your unique gifts in a wider way than perhaps has ever happened before. There's a whole world that we need to take advantage of. We can connect with the 7 or more billion people on the planet now in some way and really begin to express our gifts. You may not have considered that. Certainly, traditional schooling doesn't really mention that. Traditional schooling, if that's sort of the basis for a career that many of us come from, just sort of is like training factory workers still, like it was designed to do in hundreds of years ago when it was created, at least in the West. And that's creating people who follow the bell and do what they're told. It's not creating people who are aware of who they are and are really ready to deliver their gifts on the planet. That's more of a spiritual realization. So I want to come back to what I said at the beginning. Money issues are not really about money per se. They're about, yes, about coherence with your gifts, because I'm telling you, I'm not one of those new age weirdos who are going to tell you that you can just focus and visualize on checks for $1 million coming in the mail and you're going to get that. I don't believe in that we can have whatever we want from the universe. I believe in the law of compensation and reciprocity. I believe that if we want to get a lot of results from life, from the universe, from God, from spirit, we have to invest a lot of our own gifts, our own life force, our own energy in service to others. We have not just serving in a way that's been handed to us that we've never questioned before. I'm not saying work 80 hours a week and you're guaranteed to make a lot of money. We all know people who do that and they often don't make any money. They make very little. I'm not saying just blindly do. I'm saying that the work that you do has to be in coherence with your unique divine gifts. If you don't know what your divine gifts are, you're not going to be able to find the way to apply them in service to life, to others, in a way that brings you great rewards. Just contemplate that for a second. So this puts the power back within you. It puts the power back in not just thinking, oh, $1 million check in the mail. No, that's the new age kind of BS way of doing things. It doesn't have a lot of depth to it. Visualization is powerful, certainly. Affirmation, very powerful, but the power has to be done with the deep work of coming back to yourself, identifying what your unique gifts are, finding how can I serve more people? How can I serve in a bigger way than I have in the past? I find almost always when someone is feeling like they're not receiving what they want financially and other ways in life, they have tremendous blocks to giving. I don't mean that they're not doing a lot of things often to the point of exhaustion. Again, that 80-hour work week example I just said is one example. It doesn't mean just because you're busy doesn't mean that you're really serving life in your highest ability. Not to put that down. Some people just need to do that because they don't know any other options at that moment. Not putting it down. I'm saying, though, just working a lot, just doing a lot of things. In the West, we have, really in the whole world now, people are just constantly busy. Not a single moment for anything else. Are they affluent? Are they abundant? Are they rich? Oftentimes, no. So just spinning your wheels, just working, just doing more isn't a guarantee. You have to work in coherence with your gifts. If you don't know what your gifts are, you need to constantly be exploring and diving deeper through inspiration, through visioning, developing that sense of connection to your gifts so that you can serve more. Now, the other thing here is that challenges around money are not necessarily even related to your sense of your gifts. It is related to that, but it can be related to anything that is unresolved in your life that you're currently carrying with you. So I hear from people a lot when I do a little bit of digging with them over email to figure out, okay, so how's your life been? Say you're 40, or say you're 50, or whatever it is. What has your life experience been to date? And oftentimes I get that there have been periods of intense past pain for them. It may have been in childhood. It may have been, in their family of origin. It may have been in another type of relationship. There may have been really severe forms of pain, loss, things that may have never gotten really processed by the person fully. They had to get through it. They had to kind of tough it out. Now they're here. Now they might have a little bit more psychic space to say, okay, now I'm ready for my abundance. Now I'm ready for my life's work. Now I'm ready to do something. Why do I feel like everything is so difficult? And I will tell the people that, abundance is in many ways like a river. There can be any form of branch, tree, boulder. There can be lots of things that have accumulated that are blocking that river of abundance. There can be things from 100 years ago. There can be things from yesterday. Doesn't really matter what the thing is. It only matters that if the thing is pretty solid, like a boulder, it is restricting the flow of that stream or that river. And it will continue to do so until the boulder is dissolved or until it's removed. Same thing is true of you. You are a stream of life. You are a stream of divine energy. You are a stream of all of the divine qualities that we associate. We often say, God is love. What we really mean is that the divine quality from which you come from, the divine source from which I come from, you come from, is love, is life, is abundance, is joy, is fulfillment, is optimism, is service. These are all divine qualities. They're from which you come from, those qualities, but they're also embodied within you. They're looking to be set free in a way that is unique to you. And if anything is restricting that flow of life energy, it's going to show up as restriction in your outcomes. So there's this infinite beauty of life force energy. It's wanting to come through my life. Let me just use myself as an example. It's wanting to come through me. But if I am either tense in my body, stressed and tense in my mind, if I'm contracted in my emotions, which means I haven't forgiven, I'm not releasing anger, resentment, something I'm holding on to. You see how all of those are little blockages, little boulders in the stream. Then this divine inheritance, this divine presence of which I am a unique expression, cannot flow through me. It cannot come through me. And so I might sit back, if I wasn't aware of all of that, I might say, well, I don't know, why do I have money blocks? I don't know why. But I'm giving you the tips right now. I'm giving you the larger story of how the goodness of life itself wants to flow through you, it wants to be experienced through you, and it wants to be experienced by you. But it cannot be if there's restriction in the flow. So let's just take a deep breath. I'm going to bring this video to a conclusion in a moment. I just want to help you I'm just going to ask for a little bit of clearing here as we're working. Why not? So I want you to take a deep breath and just go within yourself. And just sink down into the heart, maybe into the abdomen for a moment. The heart and the abdomen are closer to where you can access the divine energy within yourself. The head, it's harder to. Head has a bunch of stuff going through it, thoughts, but the heart, seat of love, and the abdomen is the seat of our connection to the earth. I want you to just breathe, and I want you to relax the body. As you breathe, I just want you to see if you can begin to just connect in and plug into that place where the divine is alive within you. If it's been a while, if you haven't sensed it in a long time, it may take a little bit more excavating than this little short video, but if it's there sometimes, but it's sort of, you feel like it's lost other times, see if you can just tune in for a minute. And I can feel it in this group, and I'm trying to hold this space for this whole group here that's watching now or in the future. Just there's a space of just beauty and just joy and just right, I love that phrase, a right livelihood, right speech, right action. There's a space of it just feels right within you right now. It's always been there, no matter what you've experienced, no matter what you've gone through. No matter how long you've felt blocked, it's still there, it's always been there, and you know what? It's been completely there, and it's there in its fullness, it's there in its perfection right now. Can you sense that? Can you begin to feel that? You don't have to make the external world happen right here. You just have to tap back in to that stream of goodness, that stream of abundance, that stream of well-being that is you. May have been a little restricted, but it's still there. All the water, all the abundance that's wanting to flow through you, it's still here. you may get a piece of guidance right here that says you need to de-stress. You need to go exercise. You need to drink some water. You need to start a meditation practice. You need to breathe more deeply. You need to read some books and begin to get dominion over your mind. You begin to need to change your thoughts from fear, worry, anxiety into abundance, into love. Program your mind. You may be getting some pieces of guidance. I'm telling you, your guidance is right available to you instantaneously all the time. You don't have to wait for some angel to appear on a cloud for you. It's right here, right now. So what's the first piece of action, the first piece of guidance that feels like, yeah, that's moving me to something I haven't been facing. Maybe it's something I haven't been looking at. I haven't wanted to, but I know that my power has been wrapped up in that thing, that person I just can't seem to forgive, that self-hatred that I haven't been dealing with, that tension, that stress in my life and my body, that relationship that's getting me down. There's been something I haven't been wanting to face. But I know, without any sense of self-guilt or blame, I know that there's something there for me when I face that. There's something there for me when I begin to pull my power back from that place where my power is compromised right now. I want you to trust that piece of guidance that's coming through for you. Just trust it. I want you to commit to working with it. We're going to bring this video to a conclusion. I wanted to conclude with what I started with saying, is that money problems are not about money. Money is an outcome. It's a result. It's a result of you having a life force energy that's freed up enough for you to produce the result of abundance in money. The life force can become restricted due to many factors, including tension, stress in life, tension, stress in the body, things we aren't facing, past pains, and per my work, we look at the larger issues of the subconscious, which we say anywhere in which we've had a blocking limitation in consciousness, whether it's in a past life or whether it's now, those things can all become restrictive. But the principle is all the same. Take the boulders out of the stream of well-being, the stream of abundance, the stream of love, the streams of all of your needs met and fulfilled abundantly, affluently, and joyfully is already here. It's already available. You don't have to acquire it. You don't have to beg for it. Some angel on a cloud can't bring it to you. But you can tap into it. You can release more into it. You can let go more into it. You can breathe more into it. You can discover, there's been so many books written, I'd love to discuss more with you about some of the ones I have found. There have been so many books written on the principles of how to become more aware of abundance. And I'm telling you, this may sound like a lot of work. Some of you might be saying, well, okay, that's all fine and good, but I just want my abundance blocks cleared. I don't want to do all that work. And I encourage you you don't have to do everything. You just have to do the important things. Just have to do a little bit consistently. You begin to repattern, you begin to reprogram, and you find that your consciousness begins very quickly to rise out of the mass consciousness of fear and restriction, and you begin to see the results in your life. You begin to see the results in your manifestations. If you have questions, comments, please feel free to post them below this video. Just take a deep breath and just know all is well. I can feel this beautiful divine presence. It feels so sacred and special here with all of us now. I hope you're feeling that also, because that is really the voice of the divine coming through, wanting to be felt, wanting to be used by you now. Thanks for watching, friends. Until next time, peace.